Hey there, 7th grade math students. This is your one and only math teacher trying to talk to you about piles, wholes, positives, opposites. We're talking about multiplying and dividing these things. Well, how does it work? Why does it work? And can we do it with fractions and decimals? That's what our ultimate goal is this year. So let's first talk about negative numbers. As you can see, I have the most basic of multiplication problems. 3 times 2 equals 6. We all know that. We learned it back in 2nd or 3rd grade. And basically what we're saying is we have 3 piles, right? 3 positive piles. A positive is a pile. And we want to multiply that times 2 groups. We have 2 groups of those 3 piles, which gives us a total of 6 piles. It's pretty obvious right there in our little diagram. 3 times 2 equals 6. Well, let's take it a step further. Let's slide down here. We have now the opposite of 3. Remember, the opposite of a pile, we said, was a hole. The opposite of a pile is a hole. So we have the opposite of a pile, a hole, or 3 of them. We have 3 holes right there. 2 groups of those 3 holes. That's going to give us a total of 6 holes. So our answer would be the opposite of 6. The opposite of 6 piles is 6 holes. So you can see that there. Now let's take it one more step, or we'll go 2 more steps. And here we have the opposite of 3 would be holes, right? But we want to multiply that times the opposite of 2 groups of those. So we're saying the opposite of the opposite. So the opposite of a group of holes is a group of piles. The opposite of a group of holes is a group of piles. So here we have 3 piles and another 3 piles for a total of 6 piles. I know it's kind of bizarre and it may not make complete sense, but we're saying that when you have the opposite of a hole, it's a pile. And we have the opposite of 3 holes, which are 3 piles, and we have 2 groups of those, so we have a positive 6. Now let's try another one that could blow our mind. Let me do it right here underneath our piles and holes. And let's say we have 3 piles times the opposite of 2. Uh-oh. Well, what are we going to have here? This is saying we have the opposite of 2 groups of 3 piles. Well, the opposite of 2 groups of 3 piles is 2 groups of 3 holes. So I'm going to try to take this, if it will allow me to. I'm going to try to copy it. I'm going to try to paste it. And there's a hole. Let's see if I can get another hole. Another hole. That is the opposite of 1 group of piles, which is holes. And I'm going to do it again because it says the opposite of 2 groups. So here's my second group of holes, and boom. So what are we saying here? We're saying that when you multiply, or divide actually, when you multiply or divide, same sign equals piles or positive numbers, right? Different signs equals holes or negative numbers. I'm going to just say when you multiply or divide 2 numbers, because if you get into 3 numbers, oh boy, we have the opposite, the opposite, the opposite. It gets kind of crazy. Let's just stick with 2 numbers for right now, okay? And then we can get to 3. So that's the basic rules, multiplying and dividing integers, positive, negatives, or piles and holes, right? Positive and their opposites. Hopefully that helps. A quick review of what we did last year. Please watch and enjoy. See you in class.